Buy a beater car if you don't have one already.
People sometimes ask me, Paul, why do you drive a nearly 40-year-old Volvo?
Does anybody want to explain to me why a brand new car is missing features that my 2013 Kia Optima has?
Normalize driving vehicles that are 20 plus years old, and you don't have to spend $90,000 to get from point A to point B. I drive a 2002 7.3 Power Stroke diesel truck that my in-laws bought brand new back in 2002, and I looked it up. It was a $33,000 vehicle. In today's money, it's about 50 grand. This truck has been paid off a very long time ago. She just hit 319,000 miles. Now, I know that vehicles nowadays are nowhere near as trusty as these older vehicles. I know that. Why would I trade this truck in or sell this truck to get anything else? This bitch is going.
Here is something nobody talks about with car expenses. She has been driving her car for 24 years, bought it for $33,000. That is about $1,300 per year. That is somebody's monthly payment, $114 per month. That is insane value. And I know there's maintenance, there's repairs cost, but even then, she's still way ahead compared to constantly upgrading cars.
Buy a beater car if you don't have one already.
Having a beater car is literally amazing because you never have to worry about somebody hitting it or something happening to it because it's your beater car. This is my 98 Camry, and I mean, this thing's far from perfect. And I mean, it's seen better days. And I mean, a lot of things don't work with it. The lever is kind of broken, so you need this string to pop the thing open. The left side speakers don't work at all. That speaker blew up last week, so I only have the two rear speakers. It slams into reverse. The cruise control sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. The headliner came down probably like a month ago. You can't lock the doors because if you do, you'll never be able to get back in the car. The clock stopped working. The lighting for the gauges stopped working. The power mirrors don't work. The handbrake doesn't work, but it doesn't matter. It's got working air conditioning and runs and drives. But that's what I love about it. Everything is broken on it besides what matters. No matter what happens, this car will always start and get you where you need to go. And the whole car costs less than most people's rent.
There is no denying that the 1998 Camry is one of those cars that can go way over 300,000 miles with no issues. However, there are many things wrong with this car. Maybe because it's a 1998 car, the handbrake is not even working any longer. Someone literally commented, "This is a death trap on wheels." I always say on this channel that when health or life is being risked, it's no longer frugal, it's just rage bait. We even have a 40-year-old Volvo coming up later in the video. But before that, here are two actual profound reasons as to why people specifically choose to drive ancient cars that are over 20 years old.
Our car is 20 years old right now, and our kids would love us to lease a car. They're offering that we don't want it. 20-year-old car is steel. It's not plastic, it's safer, it grips the road, and the car looks like new. It was newly painted. And my father-in-law was smart. He says, "What do you need a fancy car? When you sit in your car, you don't see your car. It's the other guy that sees it. So are you driving it for him? Did you get the car for him, for the guy that's stopping at a red light?"
Grandma is spitting nothing but facts. Our last point actually reminds me of a very core idea in the minimalist or frugal world, admiration over acquisition, which essentially means that you don't always have to own something to enjoy it. You can train your mind to get your dopamine needs by just admiring a good-looking car without necessarily buying it. The same way you see a Mona Lisa painting, for instance, admire it and not buy it. The other point she made was modern cars are made with a lot more plastic, which is true. Here is a professional take from a mechanic on the topic.
Here's why I think cars that were built 20 years ago are better than modern day cars. From what we see and our experience, we see that nowadays there's way more plastic on cars than the metal. Plastic is to reduce weight, easier to manufacture when it comes to putting cars together. The downside of that, easy to break, easy to get damaged. Number two, the metals they're using nowadays in cars is also cheaper than what they was using 20 years ago. So that is also a big issue. Cheaper metals equals breaking quickly, damages quickly, and stuff like that.
Also, repairs of modern cars are more expensive because they are packed with tech and software that regular mechanics may not be able to deal with. And we are fast heading to a point where only the manufacturers will be able to fix these cars. And you know what that means, a much higher inflated repair cost. With modern cars costing more to own and of lesser qualities, folks, there is no better time to be frugal, there is no better time to live within your means than now.
5 reasons why I drive a 20-year-old paid-off car instead of getting a new one. I'm Taylor, and I share the imperfections of my life like how I drive a 2006 Toyota Camry. I was gifted this car over 10 years ago, already paid off, and here's why I keep it instead of buying a new car. Number 1, I don't have a car payment, which allows me to put that money toward investing for retirement and saving for my wedding instead. Number 2, I upgraded my stereo years ago so I can still listen to music and podcasts whenever I want. Number 3, my car is simple. There aren't a ton of gizmos and gadgets. It's a very minimal car and I like the simplicity of it. Number 4, if someone were to accidentally bump into my car and scratch it, I would be a little bummed, but not like I would be if my car was brand new. My car has plenty of paint chips and random scratches that I've just accepted at this point. Number 5, being debt-free is a great feeling. When I paid off my student loans 5 years ago, I learned just how stressful having debt can be. Right now, I would rather be debt-free driving around my grandpa car than in debt driving something else.
Investing in money that will have been used for a car payment is very, very savvy. In fact, one smart thing that many people do is that they make a car payment into a savings account so that when they truly need to replace the car, they can then use that money. This way, you remain debt-free and enjoy the true value of a car, which is to get you from point A to point B in a reliable and convenient manner, especially when money is tight.
People sometimes ask me, Paul, why do you drive a nearly 40-year-old Volvo? Firstly, it's a very reliable car and safe. Crumple zones were so well designed, the seat belts, the brakes, just a very safe car. The buttons on the dash feel nice. You've got these vents with little Oreo cookies. The dash, the location of everything just makes sense. Comfortably seats 5. The trunk is actually cavernous. It's surprisingly narrow in case you find yourself driving through some narrow European street. This is what a car should look like. I think of it as a Viking long car. Still enough of these on the road that parts are readily available. And unlike new cars, there's nothing spying on you. It's not something that can only be repaired at the dealership. It's not something the CIA can log into and shut off your car or make you turn off a bridge or something like that. More than anything though, I just like the way it drives.
First off, this is an extremely well-maintained car. Let's assume that he maintained his finances the same way he maintained his car over the 40-year period, and he was investing in money he could have paid for a new car. He could easily have over a 1000% return. Now, he also brings up the spying angle. Let's even say you don't believe in all this CIA stuff, or let's even put it aside for a second. One fact is that modern cars are full of tech, sensors, softwares, which means that data about how you drive, how fast you accelerate, how hard you brake, even where you go can be collected. We have had cases where this data is sold to third-party brokers who then sell it to insurance companies. Essentially, with a modern car, you could be paying a hefty car payment just to potentially pay more in insurance and hand over control of your own data. It's a terrible deal.
Does anybody want to explain to me why a brand new car is missing features that my 2013 Kia Optima has? As some of y'all may know, I've been car shopping for fucking about a year now? Yes, I still haven't bought a car because Papa's indecisive. But one of the things that I unfortunately learned in my car shopping endeavors is that a lot of these new cars don't even have good features inside of them. My 2013 Kia Optima 13-year-old car has a button that folds the mirrors, luxury, has heated and ventilated leather seats, luxury, and a little cherry on top. It has a nice heated leather steering wheel to keep Papa's gummies nice and warm during the New York City winter. You look at these new cars, $30,000, $40,000 cars. They don't have these features. They don't have heated steering wheels, heated seats. If you expect us to drop the equivalent of a down payment on a house, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, $50,000 being the average new car price in 2026, by the way, you better include some fucking $50,000 features.
Yeah, and the painful part is that people are really going into $50,000, $60,000 debt to buy these plastic cars. It's funny how somehow car manufacturers have succeeded in convincing people that this beautiful dashboard is inferior to this plain dashboard with a giant iPad in the middle. People are literally ruining their finances over junk. But we have another elephant in the room: subscriptions.
Yo, we're in a Toyota 2025, and we noticed that on the screen, you can't use navigation unless you pay a subscription fee for it, right? Which is insane. Like, you can't just hook your phone up and use navigation on your phone. That's free. So we looked at the subscription fees, and it's $15 a month. It's also $15 a month to stream music to the actual screen in your car.
So how much is the subscription? Well, $15 a month is the entry-level price if you want the app functionality with things like navigation, which I feel like we already paid for. Now, if you want additional things like Apple Music to be able to function inside the car natively, that's $25 a month. And then if you want Wi-Fi on top of that, that's an additional $25 a month. So yes, you can spend $50 a month on this Camry in subscriptions, $600 a year. Now, of course, we're not doing that. I don't think it's worth that.
And just so we're clear, you are losing when you buy a car with these features and you don't get to use the features because you paid for these features when you bought the car. And this is even the Toyota. Imagine what they would charge for subscriptions for the higher end cars. Let's move on to another angle on this topic that nobody is talking about.
Everybody loves to talk about driving a car that's 20 years old, beat up, doesn't work, windows don't roll down, whatever. But what builds real character is driving a car that has no power steering fluid. If you don't know what power steering fluid does, it makes your steering wheel frickin' turn. Driving a car with no power steering fluid, I'm literally directing the goddamn car myself. I'm building back muscle. I'm building arm muscle right here. You see that muscle development right there? This is outrageous.
When your car is testing your character and driving is beginning to feel like fighting, it is definitely okay to consider replacing the car. And this kind of video usually brings up the question, at what point do you change a beater car? Let's review Dave's answer to this question.
I drive a 2005 Honda. It's got like 181,000 miles on it, and I'm planning to drive it into the ground, but I guess my question is, when do you know it's financially a good idea to get out of that vehicle and not continue putting repairs into it?
You know, the weird thing is that you can hardly ever justify selling a car based on repairs financially. Let me give you an example, okay? If you say, okay, drive the car all the way down to it's a $2,000 car. It's not yet, but someday. You know, 300,000 miles on it, you've worn the wheels off of it, and you have a $500 or even a $1,000 repair.
Yeah.
And you say, well, you know, these repairs are killing me. I'm going to go buy a nice another little Honda for $12,000. Well, the first year, that car is going to go down more than the cost of that repair on the old one. So almost never can you justify mathematically buying a better car.
That is just one angle. We also have to factor in the efforts, the time, the stress it takes to maintain an older car that has issues. Repairing this kind of cars can cost a lot of money, and you have to fix certain issues yourself, which can be physically demanding or even risky if it involves like heavy lifting or maybe you have to work under the car. At the end of the day, not everything can be reduced to math. We have to consider the peace of mind, we have to consider the convenience and personal safety. These things are priceless. Let's be clear, a frugal lifestyle is not about how much you're saving. It's about being intentional with your resources, valuing what truly matters, and making choices that align with your long-term life goals, rather than impulse or societal pressure. If you got value from this video, consider giving it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so that anytime I post a video like this, you'll be notified about it. And also, please know that your support goes a long way. It pushes the video in the algorithm. Thank you very much for your time. I'll see you in the next one.